Hi, this is Friday, the 12th of August, 2022. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Democratic Alliance Labour Report. I have a couple of things that I want to talk to you about today. Obviously, there are lots of happenings in the labour law field. Nothing really has changed in terms of our unemployment records. So, unfortunately, a lot of the news I'm going to give you is bad news. But I still believe there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and we can discuss that as well. I'm going to be speaking about Operation Jadula. We have once touched on that. That's them approaching local businesses to stop employing foreigners. It's still a big issue in South Africa. They're using foreigners as a scapegoat. We've had the Americana Massacre 10th anniversary, and the President's culpability, which is also important for us to discuss. Women's Day and Women's Day month, and what's happening there, and has there been any movement with regard to women and equal pay. I want to talk about the thresholds for under the UIF, and also I want to speak to you about the possible strike for the civil servants in South Africa. That's a major thing. And then finally, a statement from President Ronald Reagan. He then was the president. He said, if you can't fire, then don't hire. And that's a bottom line of what's happening in South Africa today. So it's Michael Bagram reporting to you on Friday, the 12th of August, 2022, from the Democratic Alliance. Well, Operation Jadula. The government is still using foreigners as some sort of scapegoat. You see what's going on around the country. They're activating police for the first time to try and follow up with foreigners. You heard about that big incident of rapes that took place from the foreign miners that were illegal miners up north. But of course, again, they're using that incident to try and show that foreigners have taken our jobs. Well, these are illegal jobs in any event, and it's got nothing to do with it. So I'm not sure what this Operation Jadula is all about, other than the government is desperately trying to spread the news that it's foreigners that are taking the South African jobs. They're just trying to create some sort of xenophobia, and it's wrong. And I think it's going to get worse in the months ahead. And as we lead up to the elections in 2024, you're going to see the ANC is getting very desperate, and they have to try and somehow explain to people why there are no jobs, why there are almost 13 million people in South Africa who could be working, who can't work, and I entirely blame the government. The Americana Massacre. Now, there's an interesting thing. This is 10 years now, and you might recall that our president had a lot to do with it at the time. In fact, he was the one that sent a message to the police to say they must sort it out quickly and properly. The interpretation has been that it was the president that might have caused the police to react so harshly. A lot of people were murdered. The president afterwards, President Ramaphosa afterwards, said that he would recompense the families, he would visit the families, he would try and make amends. Well, it's now 10 years and it hasn't been done. But this is typical of an ANC government. We just see nothing happening at all. So we might have a 20th anniversary, a 20-year anniversary, and still nothing been done. I wouldn't hold my breath. It's very sad for the families what's happened in that their breadwinners were murdered. Women's Day. Now, we should be celebrating Women's Day every day. It's over 50% of our population, after all, and they are the backbone of any society is women. And in South Africa, we choose to have a Women's Day, and everyone gets all excited about it, and they expound the virtues and values of women. But, you know, I've been in wage negotiations for the last 35 years with trade unions. Not once have I seen a trade union coming forward and saying, we want equal work, equal pay. I just don't see that happening. Now, we've got legislation in this country, fantastic legislation, equality legislation, saying that people must be paid equally for equal work. And we still have the problem in that women are paid less than the men. We still have the problem that people would rather employ a man than a woman. It's indicative of what's going on in this country. We have fantastic laws, but no one monitors them, no one implements them. We just don't see it. And I don't think the government's got the stomach for it, actually. So to go and celebrate Women's Day is a farce. I think it's wrong for our government to make such a big fuss over the one day. They should be making a fuss every month. And that to have a ministry dealing with women is also wrong. There should be women embedded in every single ministry in the country. Like small business should be involved in every single other ministry as well. But no, we're very good at talking and not doing in this country. Now, when I was speaking about unfair discrimination and equal pay for equal work, we still got a problem in that the disabled community are still suffering badly. That people aren't getting employed from the disabled community. They're getting paid less. And we're going to see this getting worse and worse as the unemployment figures really bite hard. That people are going to exploit women, disabled, disadvantaged. There's going to be a lot of exploitation, and my strong feeling is that it's an ANC government that's putting us in this position. You would see that a lot of this movement is taking place in the Western Province, where things are starting to work, and that's indicative of a DA government. So I need to thank the Premier, Alan Winde, and the Mayor, Mayor Jordan Hill-Lewis, who have moved in great leaps and bounds to make things happen. Just as an aside, you would have seen that we have just trained and employed another 1,100 LEAP police officers. It was good news that, and the promises that Mayor Jordan Hill-Lewis made are being kept. This is amazing because every other province is either bankrupt or failing, and the one that is completely controlled by the Democratic Alliance is moving forward, and we're seeing employment being tackled very strongly here in the Western Province. Congratulations to them and the Democratic Alliance for making things happen, and that's their motto: make things happen. We have the threshold for the UIF. The threshold is now just 18,500 Rand. If you're earning over that, remember you don't have to get the overtime. And there are a lot of parts of the Unemployment Insurance Act that you should look at because they might not be applicable to people over the threshold. I just thought I'd mention that. The big news, of course, the enormous news at the moment, and as I'm speaking, I know they're busy negotiating, but we've got the civil service. Now, the civil service unions have made a demand of 6.5% plus some cash. Government is sitting at 2%. If we have a strike there, it'll be a mother of all strikes. We can't afford it. The real problem is, of course, that no one trusts an ANC government. Even though COSATU are in partnership in the tripartite alliance with the ANC government, they don't trust them. And this still stems back to the 3-year agreement that the government reneged on. And we're seeing this all the time. The ANC doesn't even pay its own workers. So can they be expected to be trusted with civil servants? And they're going to cause real problem in this country. So very sad, but this is the big one. We need to watch it very carefully. And then finally, I must say what Ronald Reagan said when he was the president of the USA. And he said, if you can't fire, don't hire. Now that's what made America rich. And we're doing the exact opposite in this country. And the Democratic Alliance needs to ensure that we get rid of that over-regulated labor environment, which we are doing. We're doing it, we're chipping away at it all the time. So thank you for listening to me. It's Michael Bagram, Democratic Alliance Labor Spokesperson. It's Friday, the 12th of August, 2022. Please share this. Thank you.